Wicca. The Wiccan afterlife is most commonly described as the Summerland. Here, souls rest, recuperate from life, and reflect on the experiences they had during their lives. After a period of rest, the souls are reincarnated, and the memory of their previous lives is erased. Many Wiccans see the Summerland as a place to reflect on their life actions. It is not a place of reward, but rather the end of a life journey at an end point of incarnations. Unitarian Universalism. Some Unitarian Universalists believe in universalism, that all souls will ultimately be saved and that there are no torments of hell. Unitarian Universalists differ widely in their theology, hence there is no exact same stance on the issue. Although Unitarians historically believed in a literal hell, and Universalists historically believed that everyone goes to heaven, modern Unitarian Universalists can be categorized into those believing in a heaven, reincarnation, and oblivion. Most Unitarian Universalists believe that heaven and hell are symbolic places of consciousness, and the faith is largely focused on the worldly life rather than any possible afterlife. Judaism, Sheol in the Hebrew Bible, is a place of darkness to which all the dead go, both the righteous and the unrighteous, regardless of the moral choices made in life, a place of stillness at the longest possible distance from heaven. The Talmud offers several thoughts relating to the afterlife. After death, the soul is brought for judgment. Those who have led pristine lives enter immediately into the Olam Haba, or world to come. Most do not enter the world to come immediately, but experience a period of reflection of their earthly actions and are made aware of what they have done wrong. Some view this period as being a reschooling, with the soul gaining wisdom as one's errors are reviewed. Others view this period to include spiritual discomfort for past wrongs. At the end of this period, not longer than 1 year, the soul then takes its place in the world to come. Although discomforts are made part of certain Jewish conceptions of the afterlife, the concept of eternal damnation is not a tenet of the Jewish afterlife. According to the Talmud, extinction of the soul is reserved for a far smaller group of malicious and evil leaders, either whose very evil deeds go way beyond norms or who lead large groups of people to utmost evil. This is also part of Maimonides' 13 Principles of Faith. Although there is no reference to reincarnation in the Talmud or any prior writings, according to rabbis such as Avraham Aryeh Trugman, reincarnation is recognized as being part and parcel of Jewish tradition. Christianity, the Catholic conception of the afterlife, teaches that after the body dies, the soul is judged, the righteous and free of sin enter heaven. However, those who die in unrepented mortal sin go to hell. In the 1990s, the Catechism of the Catholic Church defined hell not as punishment imposed on the sinner, but rather as the sinner's self-exclusion from God. Unlike other Christian groups, the Catholic Church teaches that those who die in a state of grace, but still carry venial sin, go to a place called purgatory, where they undergo purification to enter heaven. Islam. The Quran emphasizes the insignificance of worldly life vis-a-vis the hereafter. A central doctrine of Islamic faith is the judgment day on which the world will come to an end, and God will raise all mankind from the dead and evaluate their worldly actions. The resurrected will be judged according to their deeds, records of which are kept on 2 books compiled for every human being, one for their good deeds and one for their evil ones. Having been judged, the resurrected will cross the bridge of As-Sirat over the pit of hell. When the condemned attempt to, they will be made to fall off into hellfire below, while the righteous will have no trouble and continue on to their eternal abode of heaven. Afterlife in Islam actually begins before the last day. After death, humans will be questioned about their faith by 2 angels, Munkar and Nakir. Buddhism. Afterlife in Buddhism is complex, consisting of an intermediated spirit world, the 6 realms of existence, and the Pure Land after achieving enlightenment. Ancestor worship and links to one's ancestors was once an important component of early Buddhism, but became less relevant already before the formation of the different Buddhist streams. The concepts and importance of afterlife vary among modern Buddhist teachings. Buddhists maintain that rebirth takes place without an unchanging self or soul passing from one form to another. The type of rebirth will be conditioned by the moral tone of the person's actions, karma or karma. For example, if a person has committed harmful actions by body, speech, and mind based on greed, hate, and delusion, would have his/her rebirth in a lower realm, that is an animal, a hungry ghost, or a hell realm, is to be expected. On the other hand, where a person has performed skillful actions based on generosity, loving kindness, metta, compassion, and wisdom, rebirth in a happy realm that is human or one of the many heavenly realms can be expected. Hinduism. In Hinduism, heaven is considered as Svarga Loka. There are 7 positive regions the soul can go to after death and 7 negative regions. After completing its stay in the respective region, the soul is subjected to rebirth in different living forms according to its karma. This cycle can be broken after a soul achieves moksha or nirvana. Any place of existence, either of humans, souls, or deities, outside the tangible world, heaven, hell, or other, is referred to as otherworld. Hell, in many religious and folkloric traditions, is a place of torment and punishment in the afterlife. Religions with a linear divine history often depict hell as an eternal destination, while religions with a cyclic history often depict a hell as an intermediary period between incarnations. Typically, these traditions locate hell in another dimension, or under the Earth's surface, and often include entrances to hell from the land of the living. Other afterlife destinations include purgatory and limbo. Jainism also believes in the afterlife. They believe that the soul takes on a body form based on previous karmas or actions performed by that soul through eternity. Jains believe the soul is eternal, and that the freedom from the cycle of reincarnation is the means to attain eternal bliss. Egocentric Theory. Do you think you are the center of the universe? If so, the egocentric theory of death may be just the one for you. This theory claims that the universe starts with your birth and ends with your death. Stranger Things Theory. If you have seen the hit Netflix series Stranger Things, then you know what the upside down is. The show claims that there is an alternate dimension to our universe that a person can become trapped in, being neither alive nor dead. Frozen Head Theory. Some people believe that by freezing themselves after death, they will be preserved for the future. They may still be alive, just very, very cold. Revival would require repairing damage from lack of oxygen, cryoprotectant toxicity, thermal stress, fracturing, and freezing in tissues that do not successfully vitrify, finally followed by reversing the cause of death. In many cases, extensive tissue regeneration would be necessary. This revival technology remains speculative and does not currently exist. The Tree Theory. Have you ever heard of the Tree of Life? Some people decide to take that literally by having their remains buried in a tree pod. This way, your body is given back to the earth, and perhaps you will become a proud tree in your next existence. The Levels Theory. What if being a human being was just the first level of existence? The Levels Theory claims that when we die, we move on from our first initial form. The Illusion Theory. The Illusion Theory claims that the world is created more in our minds than in a literal sense, meaning that it is all an illusion. Following this understanding, death is a human-constructed concept, and when we die, we still remain. The Many Worlds Theory. The Many Worlds Theory claims that when we die, we are only dying in this one current universe. There are other universes out there for us to move on to. The Simulation Theory. According to Simulation Theory, the reality we currently live in as humans is essentially a computerized simulation of reality that is created by people. Philosopher Nick Bostrom lends credence to this theory, arguing that since many technologists and futurologists anticipate that vast amounts of computing power will be available in the future, future generations may use this power and technology to run intricate simulations of their ancestors or of people who resemble them. Of course, this is only feasible if future computing power is able to produce beings with a consciousness, which most people think is impossible. The Aztec Theory. The ancient Aztecs' view of the afterlife was separated into three paths: the sun, Mictlan, or Tlalocan. How you died determined your afterlife. Fallen soldiers and women who died giving birth became hummingbirds that followed the sun. People who died from a less glorious cause would go to Mictlan, and anyone who died by drowning went to Tlalocan. The Dream Theory. What if it was all just a dream? The Dream Theory claims that when we die, we will just wake up from a very confusing, vivid, and long dream. Pinch yourself. Plato's Theory. Plato believed that the physical world actually limited our knowledge, and that when a person dies, they move on to a new life that is more fulfilling. His theory was that death gives souls a chance to find their true existence. The Nothingness Theory. What if when we die, everything turns to pitch black and you are gone forever? Not exactly a comforting thought. The Mormon Theory. The Church of Latter-day Saints believes that good and righteous Mormons become gods when they die. Alternatively, non-believers are condemned in the afterlife. The Egyptian Theory. Egyptian pharaohs believed that death was impermanent. For this reason, mummification was essential to preserve the body for its second life. The Pessimist Theory. Perhaps this conversation is moot because we are already dead? That's what the Pessimist Theory believes anyways.